I'm Will,
And I'm Chelsea,
and we are
the
the Evans.
Evans. Today we're giving you guys some couples content. Obviously, we are not licensed therapists and in no shape or form professionals, but we want to give you guys some content based on our experiences and our journey.
So, without further ado, let's get into the content of the day.
Let's do it. All right, guys. So today we're going to speak about how do you know a man's really interested in you? Ladies, this is a question that we have been, trying to hit the nail on the head for the longest time. So today we are lucky because I have my beautiful husband here who's going to give us a man's perspective on how do you know a man's really interested in you during that dating phase and how we can look for red flags, what to look for, and what to run from. So, babe, just giving us a perspective. Maybe let's talk about first dates.
Okay.
Say I'm on a first date with a man, and how can I know that he's really into me? How do I know that he's really wanting to get to know me?
On a first date with a man, I think men were very, he'll be very specific about the date, meaning he'll make sure he knows exactly where he's taking you. He'll make sure that you don't have to do too much work. He'll tell you exactly what type of outfit you need to wear. He'll be very specific and intentional about where the date's going to be, what's going to happen, what's the itinerary for the night or the day. He'll make sure that you feel like, you could just kick your feet up and relax. He'll put effort, that kind of effort. He's not gonna pretend if he's not interested. He's not gonna do all that for somebody he's not interested in. So if a man is truly interested in you and you guys are about to go on a first date, you're gonna know based on the amount of effort that he puts in to planning this date night or date day or whatever it is. That effort, that initial effort, you're gonna tell. You're gonna be like, dang, he had to put some thought into this because it's not easy to pick this place. How does he even know about this place? That means he did some research. You're gonna feel those things when you're going on that first date. And while you're on the date, you're gonna have his full attention. He's gonna give you his full attention. I think that he's not gonna be on his phone scrolling. I think that's a big thing for anybody nowadays. People just getting on their phone, and he's not gonna be taking 40 calls with his friends. Like, hold on, my boy calling me. Let me just. He's not gonna do that when he's interested in this woman because he wants to put his best foot forward, especially on the first date. You only get one chance to make a first impression. So if a man is truly interested in you, he wants to make the best first impression. He might even make mistakes, say things wrong or stumble over his words, be a little nervous because he really wants to make a good first impression on you. So I think those things are some of the big things initially that you're going to be able to see right away. Hey, this guy puts a lot of effort into our first date. He must really like me.
That's good. That's really good information because I think us as women, that's the first thing we're thinking. First off, when we're going on a date, it's like, what am I wearing?
Yeah.
Okay, so and nothing is worse than not knowing what to wear and you're wearing heels and this man wants to take you on a hike or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or maybe in New York where you're walking blocks and blocks just to get to the destination.
Yep.
So that's really good. That's really good quality information because I think that us as women, we don't want to walk into a date blindsided, not knowing what to wear, where we're going.
Yeah.
Surprises are always nice, but at least give me an idea of what I should
Yeah.
be dressing for the occasion. So with that being said, how would we determine some red flags? Like, what are some red flags that we could look for if like a man is not interested? Because us as women, we're very emotional creatures, and we're interested in somebody. We kind of say, what is it? We get blindsided by these emotions and these feelings that
Mm-hmm.
we kind of typically look over these red flags or just don't catch them right away. So,
Yeah.
what are some red flags that you could help us look for?
Um, a big red flag that I think men will show you is that he's only willing to take you somewhere that's not really that he could take any woman and it not be like for example, he'll take you to the bar, but he won't take you to a nice restaurant. He's not going to take you somewhere that he has to actually invest and spend money. He's not going to take you somewhere that he actually has to present himself a certain way or make sure that you're presented a certain way because he's not worried about looking like he's with you. A man that is worried about being with you is going to worry about how he looks next to you because a woman is a representation of a man. If she's beautiful but she doesn't have a brain, it's a representation of his need for physical, uh, that physical connection maybe. Or if she's brilliant and he's not that bright, it's his representation of need for somebody that maybe can give him that
Fill that
mental,
void.
yeah, that you're feeling void. So men are conscious of how a woman represents them. So if he's taking you to a bar and he's not willing to take you to, a fancy restaurant, or he's not willing to take you somewhere nice that you guys will be presented in a certain way, I think you can look at that and say, you know what? maybe this guy.
Okay,
You know,
that's really good information because I never would have thought that, because sometimes a man, you just think, oh, well, he wants to just meet up at this restaurant slash
yeah,
bar thing, and you just think, okay, well, maybe it's just a casual first date. We're kind of
yeah.
just meeting up.
Or he wants to just take me straight to his house. Like he doesn't
Oh,
want to take me in public. You know, like if a man don't want to take you in public, man, there's nothing that men love more than showing off the woman that they chose, that chose them, right? So a man loves to take a woman somewhere nice where he looks nice, she looks nice, and she's able to represent him, and he's able to be seen like this is the woman that I picked y'all, and she picked me back. Men love that. We're prideful creatures. Men are based on pride. A lot of us, not even in a negative way. Just we like to be proud of things. And if he's like, you know what, let's just go to my house for the first date. No, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He's probably not that interested in you. He's probably interested in something else.
Yeah, for one, ladies, for safety purposes, I don't recommend going to any man's house on the first date.
Yeah,
But it is very, to me, I always looked at that as a red flag,
yeah,
and in two senses, because it's like, okay, for one, if he's trying to bring me to his house right away,
yeah.
no, because what are we doing at your house? I haven't even got to know you, and
Right.
there are some occasions where a man is like, I want to cook for you, and
Yeah.
maybe he wants to have a nice setup that way. That's obviously romantic, but still, I would be skeptical with that being the first date.
Yes.
Second off, it's like if a man doesn't want to bring you to his house at all, it's kind of
After a while.
After a while, it's like, well, who do you live with?
Yeah.
And is
Or
that
what
man?
don't you want me to see?
Yeah, or what don't you want me to see? And because some of these men don't live how they look.
Yeah, that's real.
So
Yeah, they don't want to be exposed. They look a certain way on social media. They look like they live a certain way on social media, and then you go to their one bedroom apartment or their studio apartment,
and it's filthy, and they
it's
gotta.
filthy, or their
Ugh.
bed is next to their fridge, or they look like they're a millionaire on Instagram, but when you go to their house, it's like outside of your kitchen, like where's your headboard?
Yes.
Things
Yeah.
like
So I
that.
think that could be a red flag, as well as either him inviting to the house too soon or just not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is that's really good information. So as a man, what are some things that you look for in a woman that would kind of attract you to her, that makes you want to get to know her more?
I think representation, and back to representation, it's a big thing for men. How does this woman represent me? Everybody wants the best. My grandmother said that all the time growing up. Everybody wants the best. So a man wants a woman that represents him in a way that he feels like he wants to be viewed by the world. So I want this woman. If a man wants a woman that's elegant and speaks with a certain level of vernacular, he wants that to be a representation of who he is. So I think men just look for representation, and men are typically interested in women that represent them the best that they feel. This is the best for me.
So going back to like first date, right?
Hmm.
As a woman, how long are we supposed to wait for this man to hit us up again? Because I know that's a big thing as far as, we think like, okay, the first date's over. We don't want to text too much. Usually a man, if he's a gentleman, he'll give you that, hope you got home safe type text.
Yeah.
But going forward from that night, how soon will a man hit us up if he's genuinely interested in us? Is it normal to wait a couple days, or?
I think it's normal in that scenario in the first dating, in the dating process, because he doesn't want to look too thirsty, but he also wants to make sure that that he's interested. So I would say maybe a day, or he might text you the next day, hey, just checking on you, make sure everything's good. How did you like last night? Or just trying to get some feedback from him. He may not even ask you, but he just really wants some feedback from, do you like me?
Gotcha.
If he really likes you, he's going to give you that. I think, what a big thing is, even when he's hitting you up the day after the date or leading up to the first date, the time of day that he hits you, the time of day that
smart.
he reaches out to you. If he's reaching out to you at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and being like, yeah, I just really want to see you, like, you kind of know that's a red flag, right? Like,
Yeah.
of him not actually being interested in something serious with you. And maybe you're not looking for nothing serious either, and that's cool for you. But if you want something serious, somebody that's seriously interested in you, the time of day that they hit you up is very important. Any person is going to make time throughout the day for the things that are important to them. So if you're important to him and he's interested in you, he's going to make the time to hit you up throughout the day. Hey, just checking on you, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And whether it's a full conversation or not, just that checking in with a person, going, hey, just checking on you. How you doing? What you doing today?
Yeah.
You know, not a constant what you doing, what you doing, what you doing, what you doing. You know, because that
Yeah.
means he's not interested in actually, you know, a real conversation. He just
He
wants to
should be
know.
able to hold a
Yeah,
conversation.
he will hold a conversation if he's truly interested.
Yeah.
But the time of day that a person hits you up, that a man hits a woman up, especially, that tells you a lot about if he's interested or if he's disinterested or if he's only interested in something else.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And I think I want to know a man's perspective on this because I feel like this is like the question of the century. Everybody wants to always know. So, like, how do men think about getting intimate on the first date? So, is that an indication that he doesn't like you, or is that an indication that he did like you? If he's
wanting to be
trying,
intimate,
yeah, or is that something that you do? Men genuinely believe it's a connection thing. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, you know what I mean?
um,
How do you guys look at that? Or are you thinking like if she's willing to give it up on the first date, that's a red flag for you guys?
no, I think men, we look at it like, if it happens, cool. If not, like, I think men, there are some men that will judge a woman, but they typically already judging you based on how you're acting on the date. So if she's acting like she's one of those type of women and then she gives it up on the first date too, you already know what type of woman this is. He's probably going to lose interest. But if she gives it up on the first date, but he sees that she carries herself and represents him the way he wants to be represented and carries herself like the woman that he values, giving it up on the first date is not going to change his opinion of you that much. It may it may make him like you more because he's like, you're not playing games with me, you know, and I actually do like you.
Okay.
So it all depends on who the woman is, and you know, I wouldn't say to just give it up on the first date. I would never advise that. Men like to chase things. Men like to hunt. We're naturally hunters, so we want to be able to chase and then catch it and feel like it took me a long time to get this, but it was worth it. You know, there's a saying that anything worth having is worth waiting for.
Absolutely.
So a man will wait if he's truly interested in you, but it's not going to deter him. If he was interested in you before, giving up on first date, he's not going to be deterred by that necessarily.
I think it goes to, I guess, like how it happens as well,
Yeah,
because I feel like if a man truly values you, he's not going to put you in the position, even on a first date, to maybe even
no,
have that happen.
no.
So it's like, okay, well, if he's, if you guys go out to a beautiful restaurant and then, he drops you off at home and, kisses you goodnight type thing, you kind of didn't have that opportunity to to have that present itself. So I feel like,
You know what it is? I think a man, you'll know because he won't make you feel pressure. You won't feel the pressure as a woman to do anything.
that's a good
You
way to
know,
put it.
so you'll know if he's actually interested in you, if you want to give it up, and he's not making you feel like you have to give it up because of what he did for you. Now, if he's making you feel like you have to give it up, you got that feeling like, dang, I feel like he's like kind of making me feel like I should give him some because of all he did on our date tonight. Then you know he's probably not interested in you. He's doing all this on the date to get that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that pressure feeling in your heart or in your stomach, where it's like, dang, I feel like I'm like guilty if I don't give him none. If you don't have that feeling, then he's probably being genuine with you, and you know that's your choice at that point as an adult to do what you want to do.
Yeah, I feel like if you present yourself as a valuable woman, he's not going to feel too comfortable just coming and asking you for you to drop your drawers.
No, yeah.
I think that
I
it
agree.
would. I believe that it's strongly about how it happens, the environment, the way it happens. It's not feeling like you said the pressure
Yeah.
on either or part, because I know some women can be a little pressure, too, applying pressure. So I think that if it happens, it should be, I mean, we're all grown. I think it does happen. And there's people who have successful marriages who ended up, being
Yeah.
intimate on the first night. And then, so I just think that is,
Yeah.
but I just want to know from a man's perspective if they think that it's just automatic and no. Because I've heard that with
No.
men before, like, oh, she gave it up on the first night. She's,
Nah, he was already thinking that about her before. If a man says that, he already felt that way about that woman before she
Yeah.
gave it up. And that's just his excuse. You know, that was like the icing on the cake. Like, and she gave it up on the first night.
oh, okay.
You know, but it's
Got
not
it.
like, oh, she gave it up on the first night, so I can't, you know. But it all depends on how she carries herself. If you're out and she seems a little too loose on the date and she's being a little too extra and she had 8 shots on the first date, you had 8 shots with a man that you don't even know, you know, or you had 3-4 drinks, and I'm talking about big drinks, and it's our first date, you don't know me, and then you like, yeah, I want to give it up on the first night too. Yeah, that's gonna be some red flags, but that's like a symptom of the sickness. It's not the actual sickness. It's like just a symptom. Like she gave it up on the first night on top of all this other stuff, the way she was acting tonight, it showed me what kind of woman I'm dealing with. And I don't want nothing serious. I'm not interested in this woman anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that could be a red flag too, is somebody trying to get too intoxicated on a date. I think that indicates they might not be as interested in you as you think so.
They just trying to get through the night.
They just trying to get through the night. If he's consistently ordering drinks, or she's consistently ordering drinks because she feels like she has to tolerate you, or he has to feel that he needs to tolerate you.
Or you see this too, like women will order drinks just because the man's paying. Like, he's paying, so I'm just gonna get as many drinks as I can for free. You know, you see that a lot. So those things you got to watch for, just to make sure that person is interested in you. But I think men typically love to show that they're interested, and women get intimidated sometimes by men that are actually interested in them. But in reality, that man might be really interested in you, and he's going above and beyond in a way that you're not used to. So it may be intimidating, but don't let that turn you off, because if you give that person a chance, you may get some of the most beautiful relationships out of that situation, that scenario. Because he's actually interested and he's trying to put his best foot forward. You may even be able to tell him, hey, scale it back a little bit. I am interested in you, but just scale it back a little bit, and you guys will know how to say that in your own way. But don't be deterred just because this man is going above and beyond. You know, I think women do get scared off by that, you know, sometimes. So, yeah, don't be deterred. Just tell him scale it back. If you like him back, tell him scale it back, and you don't have to try so hard. He'll appreciate you even that much more for that, in my opinion.
Okay, well, that's good. I think we got some really valuable information. I hope you guys got that, ladies. Take notes, because that was some really good information, babe. I appreciate that. I think that we have a better understanding now on going out into these dates, what to be aware of, what to look for, and, you know, we have a better perspective on that. We thank you for that, baby.
Last point I want to make, too. There's some things that women get impressed by that make you feel like he's interested, but he's not actually interested, right?
Oof, yeah.
So, like...
That's a good one.
Just because he's willing to stop at McDonald's and buy you whatever you want on McDonald's menu on your way to go do whatever, you know, that doesn't mean he's interested necessarily.
Yeah.
Or just because he's like, you guys go to the gas station, he's like, what do you want? You want something out of here? That doesn't necessarily mean he's interested in you. Like, we got to make sure we raise the bar a little bit.
Yeah, because I believe that some men do little things like that to get what I call brownie points.
Yeah.
And it's like...
introduce you to their friends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to take you around the corner. Stop at my friend's house, you know, so my friends see that you with me, and you thinking, oh, he's introducing me to his friends, or he's letting his friends see us together. That doesn't necessarily mean he's interested in you. His friends seen you and her and her and her, and that was all this week.
And they called you all sis.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or didn't say anything at all. Like, even if it's not a relationship there where they speaking to you, just, you're not the first woman that has been in this car this week that his friends have seen. They're just not saying nothing. So don't think that things like that are signs of interest. You know, those are not necessarily signs of interest. Those are just signs that he's trying to get brownie points. Like you said, baby.
Set the bar high for yourselves, ladies. I think that certain things that men do, it is, and not all men are doing it just for brownie points. That just might be who he is, and that's great too. But just be aware of those things and try not to get head over heels for, you know, alone. The way you can stop that is by not being into a man because of what he's doing. Oh, well, he does this for me. He does that for me. He does this for me. You should be interested in a man outside of everything that he does from you. Aside from everything that he does from you, you're interested in him, and then everything that comes with that is just a bonus.
Yeah, based on who he is.
Yeah, but don't let him trying to impress you and doing little things, don't let that accumulate you to, you know, getting your heart broken, because these men can do, you know, that $12 that he spent at the gas station, that $20 he spent at McDonald's that he dropped you off on your lunch break type thing. That's not a lot, and you know what I mean? So it's sweet, and it makes you feel very, like, special in the moment, but still have your guard up until a man comes to you and fully tells you that he is interested and he wants to be your man. Until
he will
then,
vocalize it too. He will say it. You know?
Yeah, and until then, it's just a situationship, and treat it as such, and live it.
Yep, I agree. So that's what we have for you guys today. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and support the channel. And if you have any questions or suggestions for our channel, make sure you drop them in the comments. See you guys next time.